After 2 boxing fights, inter-club competitions, endless rounds of sparring and years of training experience, it's fair to say that starting martial arts was one of the best decisions that I ever made. And in this video I'm going to break down the differences between boxing and Muay Thai and which one you should start as a beginner, or maybe if you've had a few years training experience, which one you should prioritise in your training. Quick disclaimer, I didn't include jiu-jitsu because, to be honest, rolling around with other men on the floor isn't really my thing. So just to kick it off, let me explain what Muay Thai is and what boxing is and what the actual differences are for any beginners watching very quickly. Muay Thai, they call it the art of 8 limbs, right? It's punching, kicking, elbows, knees. Very fucking aggressive. Whereas boxing, on the other hand, is literally just punches. They're 2 different arts and very good in their own way. So that's what I'm going to explain in this video and help you choose which one you should start or which one you should prioritize in your training and take you through the thought processes which I did when I started training myself. For a bit of context, I trained Muay Thai for 2 years, never had a fight, and then I switched over to boxing for 1 year, had 2 fights, did an inter-club competition and did a lot of sparring in both. So I have a pretty balanced view. So I'm going to kick it off with some pros and cons. Muay Thai Pro, the variety of techniques that you can use when you're training Muay Thai is pretty much unlimited, right? There's a lot of freedom when you're training Muay Thai. You can use kicks, you can use elbows, knees, punches. You feel very free and very open. Whereas with boxing, it's a lot more limited to what you can do, right? It's basically only punching. So I'd see Muay Thai as more of an art. There are so many different things you can do with Muay Thai. You can kick someone, front kick, spinning back kick, fucking roundhouse kick to the head. And this brings me on to boxing pro number 1, and that is that it's more focused and straightforward, right? With Muay Thai, 1 second you're getting kicked in the head, next second you're having a spinning back elbow landing right on your chin. A lot of time when you're training Muay Thai, you're sparring or you're fighting, you just become overwhelmed with the attacks, especially as a beginner. If you're just getting started out, there's just so much going on. Knees, elbows, kicks, you just got so much to worry about. Whereas with boxing, it's literally just a box and you've got to defend punches and throw punches yourself. So it's a lot more focused and targeted. This is a bit of a controversial one, but Muay Thai Pro number 2, and that is that it's aggressive. It's more aggressive than boxing. Don't know if this actually counts as a pro or not, but for me it's a pro because you just have a lot more freedom with your attacks and you can really do some fucking damage. So if you're planning to start training martial arts, just blow off some steam, hit people and just cause some pain on other humans, then I'd recommend Muay Thai is probably best for you. Last, boxing pro, and that is that it applies well to real life situations, right? If I'm in the club, if I'm in a rave, if I'm in a bar and someone wants to fight me, the last thing I'm going to do is give them a spinning back heel kick to the face. Let me give you a quick demonstration. Hopefully you can see me, but if I'm in a club or a bar and someone wants to come and fight me, the last thing I'm going to do is this. Bah, bah, right? If someone wants to start me, I'm in the club, I'm going to bah, 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 fight. Done. Hopefully that was a good demonstration. But for example, a con of Muay Thai is that it's not going to apply to real life situations a lot of the time. If you're using martial arts or you're starting to train boxing or Muay Thai because you want to learn to protect yourself, boxing is going to be the best bet because you're going to use hand-to-hand combat the most if someone starts on you. Obviously I'm not telling you to go out and start picking fights with people on the street. That's not a good thing. But if worse comes to worse and someone wants to fight you, the first thing you're going to resort to is a straight right hand to their chin, not a spinning back heel kick. Bonus boxing con, brain damage. Now you see fighters get CTE, I think it's called, can't remember what it stands for, but it's basically the brain damage you get from being concussed too hard, too many times in the head. And obviously because boxing, you're just aiming for the head 99% of the time, all the impact's going onto your skull, and that's not very healthy for the brain. That was actually the reason why I stopped boxing after my second fight, because I'd just been fed up of hitting in the face and having concussion. It's definitely not good for your brain. So it's good to take time out, let your brain heal properly, especially when you're younger, right? I'm only 19. The last thing I want is brain damage or to die at an early age because I wanted to have some scrap when I was 19, right? So in that sense, Muay Thai is a lot more protective for the brain, and MMA as well. You'll see if you're going to get knocked out in Muay Thai or MMA, at least it's just one impact, whereas with boxing, you can get knocked out and still have to take 10 hard impacts to the head. It's no good for you. You see these heavyweight boxers, they can't string a sentence together. Like, it is quite depressing. So that is a con from boxing, the brain damage that you can get. So there are a few pros and cons just to give you a quick summary and rundown of the 2 sports. Now let's get on to the main core of this video and which one you should actually start. I'm giving you a rundown of Muay Thai and boxing, giving you some pros and cons. Now, which one should you actually start? If you're looking into getting into training, or maybe you've got a little bit of experience, but you want to go down one path, which one should you pick? Now, I'm not going to beat around the bush and bullshit you around like most other YouTubers, but you should start boxing. Simple, straightforward answer, you should start boxing as a beginner. Now, there's a few reasons why I say this, and there's a twist to it, so keep watching. As a beginner, when you're boxing, you just have one thing to focus on, right? And that's punching. You don't have to worry about kicks, elbows, knees, none of that violent, aggressive stuff, right? You just got one thing to worry about, and that's your fists. Attacking and defending. On top of that, it gives you a good base for starting Muay Thai in the future. With Muay Thai, remember, you're still punching. And a lot of Thai boxers, they're shit at boxing. They can't punch for shit, especially in the lower ranks. And when you're starting out Muay Thai, you need to know how to box. Because when I was boxing, I'd spar people who were doing Muay Thai. I just demolished them. There was one time where I was sparring a guy in Muay Thai after I'd had a bit of boxing experience, and he was just leg kicking me in the same spot over and over again. So I was like, fuck this. I grabbed one of his kicks and just pummeled him with about 10 punches, and that shut him up, right? A lot of these Thai guys, they don't know how to box, they don't know how to defend proper boxing. So in that sense, boxing gives you a good base for Thai boxing. So this is a twist and what I recommend you to do. So I've told you to start boxing if you want to get started as a beginner. What I recommend you do is do 2 boxing sessions, pure boxing sessions per week. And on top of this, you can add in 1 Muay Thai session a week to see how you like it, right? That way, you get the base of boxing, but you also have the option to mix it up a little bit and try Muay Thai if you want to once per week. That way, you're training 3 times a week. You're going to progress very fast. If you want to learn to fight or start martial arts, start training, maybe as a hobby or just aerobic training, then twice a week is what I'd aim for, and that's what I did personally, and I made massive bounds and progress in my training very quickly. So 2 boxing sessions a week, and you can always add in 1 Muay Thai session a week to mix it up, give you a bit of variety with your training and see if you like it. So start hitting the pads, work the bag. You're not going to get put into sparring unless you want to, right? Your coach might ask you if you want a few rounds of light sparring after a few months training. You can say no very easily if you don't want to, and you can just work the bag or work the pads if that's all you want to do, right? You're never going to be pushed into sparring. And as you progress your way up, you train for longer, your coach sees you improve, they're going to offer you that chance to spar. Now, you can start off with a little bit of light sparring, just getting in the ring, moving around with people, get that feeling of what it's like to be in hand-to-hand combat, and that's where your confidence will come from. The main benefit of starting martial arts is the confidence that you get subconsciously from knowing how to fight and defend yourself, right? And you get that from sparring. You won't so much get that from hit the pads because you don't have that altercation, that confrontation with your fear. So a little bit of light sparring will help, and then you can just choose wherever you go, really. There's not a step-by-step process that you have to spar X times per week or you have to spar after this many months training. It's really down to you and what you want to train for. So that's my opinion on which one you should start. Not that anyone asks, but I thought I'd give it to you anyway, because hopefully it will inspire you, help someone out there, maybe help you and inspire you to take that first step to booking that first Muay Thai session. Book that free trial at your local boxing club, because it's one of the best decisions I've made, right? I was scared shitless before my first Muay Thai session, and I'll put a picture up on the screen of my Snapchat memory from before that Muay Thai session. But I really enjoyed it and I just got obsessed with it. And 2 years down the line from shitting myself from going to that first session, I had 2 fights, I was competing with my club and I was sparring regularly. Personally, I've taken a bit of time off training martial arts myself since my second boxing fight, which is in March. It's now September. I haven't really trained much. I've just been focusing on my lifting, focusing on my YouTube, and yeah, just my priorities changed up. But I'm sure that very soon I'll be back in the Muay Thai gym because I really do love it and I really do miss it. So hopefully this inspired you to slingshot your way outside your comfort zone and get on your way to becoming a better man and developing yourself as a person. This is really one of the key points of development as a man and becoming a man is fighting. I'm not saying you need to have a professional boxing fight or get into the amateur boxing, but just train, go down to the gym, see how you like it. There's no pressure on you at all. You can go at your own pace, do what you want, and see the benefits yourself firsthand. It's alright watching a video, but you got to get in there and get yourself out your comfort zone and get stuck in, right? That's the best advice I could give you. So that's a wrap on this video, boys. If you enjoyed it, do make sure you drop a like and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. It really helps me out. And if you have any questions, comment or DM me on Instagram at Ben Mulhall. I'm posting daily behind the scenes stories and posts on there. So if you want to see what I'm up to day to day, see a bit of my lifestyle, follow me on Instagram. I'll leave a link in the description as well. But if you've got any questions, feel free to shoot me a DM, put them in the comments. And yeah, much appreciated, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!